Johns River, there's a good look inside Everbank Stadium here in downtown Jacksonville. Here now is Cam Little out to get us started.
And off we go from Jacksonville. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Stroud looks to throw on the first play. He'll get this into the hands of Nico Collins.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 17 yards on the game's opening play and a quick first down.
Certainly no settling into the drive there. They came right out on the first play and attacked the middle of the field for a big gainer and a first down.
Stroud.
This one complete to Christian Kirk. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helped to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
From the 44-yard line, here's 2nd down and 2. Throwing now is Stroud.
To Mixon on the check down. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. So that'll go as a 4-yard loss on the play. 3rd and 7 now.
Heck of a play there to get to him quickly and get him down for a loss.
I think they did a really nice job getting ready for this game, scouting, watching film, and understanding defensively what the play design was.
Play action. Stroud now.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down.
Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. They tried to go with a little play action there, but nobody on the defensive side bit.
Yeah, they adjusted in time and in a big way and ultimately got the sack. On offense, sometimes you're running play action just to set up a certain blocking technique. In this case, none of it worked.
On is the punter Townsend as he gets this one away.
And this one goes angling out of bounds, and it will be spotted inside the 30-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go.
Lawrence bringing the Jaguars up, 1st and 10.
Right at the 30.
Now ETN to start the drive.
And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
They suspected it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on 1st down.
Now 2nd and 8 at the 32-yard line. Now Lawrence.
This will be caught by Brown.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
10 yards there, good enough for a Jags first down. The man in motion is Brown.
He'll get it here on the jet sweep. And a strong run that time as he's across midfield and down to the 43.
15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
An excellent run there coming from out wide.
And we used to consider these jet sweeps to be gadget plays or something a little bit unusual, right? But now most teams have some version of this play in their playbook. And I think it's a lot because of the receivers that are being developed nowadays. These guys look like running backs even though they're playing out on the perimeter. And that's where you're counting on a receiver's size being an advantage. They were hoping he could go up the top of a smaller DB and haul that one in. A good thought, but that time it didn't work out.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Lawrence.
That is incomplete.
I know tight ends love this route because a lot of times they'll fake a block first and get a little bit of space and then come across the middle because in their mind, they're thinking catch the ball and then drop the hammer on the little guys in the secondary.
Unable to drop the hammer, he just dropped the pass.
Now Lawrence. They'll try and set up the screen to Etienne. And a good job on the tackle there as they get him down shy of the first on the 35-yard stripe. 8 yards on the screen there, not enough. And it'll be 4th down.
And that doesn't have to gain big yardage to be an impactful play, because if you can get those pass rushers second-guessing themselves that they might get hit with a screen, maybe you can wind up slowing them down just a step. And if you do that, that's a win for that play.
And his kick here is good. And the Jaguars grab a 3-0 lead. So a pretty good opening drive. That'll make the home fans somewhat happy. They wanted 6, but they got 3 in the early lead.
And they should be happy. The guys look good getting down the field. And that's got to give them a little bit of hope that good things are in store here today for them.
Here's the Jaguar kick team now as they run up and send this one away.
And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24.
So now we get set to see Houston for their second drive of the ball game.
Defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. Now Stroud.
Man open, that's complete to Dalton Schultz. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. 1st down.
Yeah, that's a nice pickup there, especially when it comes on the heels of a 3-and-out the first time you have the ball. They were determined to not have that happen again, and that's a nice throw for their first down of the game.
And Stroud now to throw.
And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass.
A shotgun snap to Stroud.
He's got Higgins over the middle.
4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
And I think this is a route we'll see more of as this game goes on, because with his speed, they want to get him the ball in space on drag routes just like this. They want him to get the ball and run after the catch. Good job there, though, holding him for a short gain.
Here goes Stroud again.
Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
They're bringing a lot of pressure here already in the first quarter. Already sacked him once. Now they get in there and knock another one away. You think maybe that Tucker rule being gone makes defenses a lot bolder?
Yes, indeed. That time, lucky that the arm was going forward. Incomplete pass.
Here's Tommy Townsend now,
as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback.
So time to see Jacksonville again on offense for the 2nd time here in this game.
They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10.
They'll start on the ground. Etienne.
And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
Someone's looking fresh, and this O-line is definitely licking their chops. Everyone likes to run block if you're an offensive lineman. Nice early burst. Nice gain, too.
Line of scrimmage, the 28 now as they come up on 2nd and a couple.
And they'll go again with Etienne.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. The good run on 1st down followed up by a not-so-good run on 2nd down.
Now let's find out if they're going to stick with the run here on 3rd down. A lot of people would love to see some play action here. I say go with your best running play over your best blocker.
Here's Lawrence. Open man, that's Month, the tight end.
So give him 2 yards there on the completion, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, it wasn't a big strike, but that completion put them in really great range. What do we have now, 4th and inches?
Yeah, it's not more than a half a foot.
You know what I would do here?
You would always go for it.
I'm one of those guys.
A Cook now on to punt as he gets this one away.
And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt.
And the Texans will take over. A first carry here for Joe Mixon.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
From the 25, here's 2nd down and 8. Back to throw. Here's Stroud.
And his throw is incomplete.
I think he could have scanned downfield forever, but there wasn't anything available. Ends up throwing an incompletion, and I think he'll take that.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8.
Here's Stroud. Able to find the open man. That's complete.
And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. That one will go down as 33 yards on the 3rd down conversion.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Stroud to throw it.
Ball hit as he throws there, incomplete.
I think there he had to come off of his primary receiver in a big way, just trying to get it to a secondary guy, unable to get that play completed.
Checked down, but didn't even have enough time to do that. Incomplete. Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10.
Again, it's Stroud.
And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. It's an 8-yard pickup, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Stroud sets up the play action. He's got his running back out of the backfield. And he is going to have a Texans first down. It's a gain of 6 that time on 3rd and 2.
I'm not sure that was necessarily a safety valve or a check down throw on 3rd down. Sometimes just try and find the open guy and get him the ball. He did exactly that and found a way to pick up a first down.
Stroud off the play fake.
He finds his target. It's Schultz. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. 23 yards, the final tally.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker.
And he's in. Touchdown, Houston.
Joe Mixon.
A 5-yard touchdown run.
And the Texans have answered that early field goal to take a first-quarter lead. Well, he finishes off the drive with a touchdown run, Charles. Remember, he also had a catch on this drive as well.
And that's what running backs want to be in today's NFL, a complete back. 3 downs, stay on the field, run it, and catch it. And he gets it done.
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. Unable to corral him. He fights through.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Jacksonville back on offense and ready to take over. Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out, and they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
He completes it to Hunter. Zero hesitation that time. That was get ball, throw ball.
Yeah, it turned into a smoke route. If you see the coverage off the receiver, doesn't matter whether you call it a run or not. Just take the ball, get it out to him.
From the 32-yard line now, here's a 2nd and 4. Off the play fake, here's Lawrence. The escapability in evidence there as that one good for 15 and a first.
As he came to the line of scrimmage, he knew he didn't need much to reset the chain, so when he saw the space he needed, no hesitation. He went to the marker and got his guys a first down.
On 1st and 10, it's Etienne. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. That's another gain of 15 on back-to-back plays. We often give credit to the O-line there. 2 tight end formation. Those tight ends block pretty well also.
Yeah, and that's one of the most dynamic positions in football now. The tight ends who can block at the line of scrimmage at the point of attack, and they can also get downfield and catch the football.
Here's Lawrence to throw. He'll get this into the hands of the wideout from LSU. So the completion good for 7 there, and it'll be 2nd down. In motion right here, Hunter. After one, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Jacksonville, and it's the Jags with the football. 2nd and 3, and they trail 7-3, but getting close to changing that. And this defense hoping to limit them to a field goal to preserve the lead. Lawrence will throw. He finds his man, complete. That's Hunter. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
And that one going to come up short. Low throw.
It sort of looks like they still have some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But if this defense gets 2 more stops, they can keep them out of that area.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. Lawrence going to throw again. That's complete to Travis Etienne out of the backfield. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. The Jags picking up the first down there, a gain of 12.
That's a pretty play there coming out of the backfield, but as that back, you've got to be conscious of making sure you're securing the football. When you get out in open field, sometimes you get a little loose with it as you're trying to get up ahead of steam. Make sure you keep it close to your body because those defenders are trying to punch it free. He does a nice job there protecting the ball and picking up a first down.
It was Danielle Hunter to make the play in the backfield.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
That loss of 3, a rare stumble on a promising drive. Here's 2nd and 13. Looking to throw, Lawrence. This will be caught at about the 6. That was the 9th play of the drive, and they pick up 9 yards with it.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
This now a 3rd and 4. Now Lawrence to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Jacksonville. A 5-yard touchdown. And the Jaguars are once again back in front. There was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself. No reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead is now 10-7. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. Houston set to take over. As this offense comes back out here, Charles, they're trailing in this ball game. And they've been on the sideline for a while. They did score their last time out, but they just had to watch that long, sustained drive. So we'll see if they can shake the rust off.
Yeah, and that's always a question that you have when you have to come off the bench after having sat there for a long time. Are you ready to go? Are you loosened up? But even more so, are you mentally alert and ready to put your best product out there?
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. And some good acceleration there as he's across midfield to the 48-yard line. A pickup of 11 and a Texans first down. Interior of that line blocked really well on that run, but also the 2 tight ends, they blocked well too.
Not only have they scouted the line of scrimmage, with their agility, they can get upfield and hit moving targets like linebackers, defensive backs. They do a really good job helping out the running game.
Stroud looking to throw. Looking for the out route here, and it's completed to Kirk. And he's got this down a yard or 2 shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. Second down and 3. Throwing now is Stroud. That's complete. It's Collins. 3rd catch of this first half for him, and this one is a first down. Stroud. The throw out wide going to be incomplete.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earned a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32. Now it's Mixon running right, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
Well, they sent the power set out there, and their job is to be man-on-man and move people so they can run the football. But that time, too many men didn't get moved in the box defensively. They end up throwing him for a loss.
From the gun on 3rd down, here's Stroud. That is caught down inside the 10. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Christian Kirk, 34 yards. And the Texans have taken the lead. And on that one, able to catch it, also able to have the wherewithal to take it in for the score.
And how about the phases of a successful catch and a completion of a play? look the ball in, secure the catch, and then, of course, the run after the catch that ends up in the end zone.
Fairbairn good with the extra point, and the lead is now 14-10.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. And he won't quite make it to the 25. Jacksonville set to go again offensively. Lawrence bringing the Jaguars up, 1st and 10. At their own 24. They'll look to ETN to start things out. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Not a huge carry there on first down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on 2nd down.
And they'll come up on a 2nd and 7 from the 27. From the shotgun, Lawrence. Over the middle, complete. That's Brown. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
And maybe that touchdown on the previous drive has re-energized this offense a little bit. They've been kind of sluggish until then, but they're showing signs of life here, and they get good yardage that time and a 1st down.
A give, it's ETN off the option. And a pretty good burst there as he'll get this across midfield and down to the 46. 12 more yards there and another 1st down. Well, CD a lot of times like to separate speed and quickness, and they've got a back that's both. We know that he's fast in the open field, but, man, his first step is so quick, too.
It is something, isn't it? Because you think of that type of speed getting to the perimeter and turning upfield, but also when you run those inside runs, he can get into the secondary so fast the linebackers don't have a chance to react.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. Will Anderson, he's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9.
Yeah, some real defensive resistance there, saying not so fast to a good drive. They had marched to the end zone the last time out.
So now after the sack of Lawrence, the Jags looking at a 3rd and long. On 3rd down, here's ETN. And they will get this across midfield, but still well short of the first as he's dropped at the 46. So 7 yards on the carry there, but now they're staring at 4th down.
Well, the guys who are paid to make the tackles deserve some kudos there, but I think they deserve even bigger ones because in that situation, they had to be thinking pass. Loosened up defense, going to pass coverage. Instead, maybe they surprised them a little bit running the ball, yet they rallied to it and stopped them well short of a 1st down.
And the football going back over now to the Houston Texans. Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, 2nd down.
So if you've been playing defense in this one, there's a little bit of the good and some bad because they did give up the touchdown run to him earlier but shut him down otherwise.
Outside of that, you're exactly right. I would say they've contained him very well.
And Stroud now to throw. This goes out wide from Mixon. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there of those guys being able to run from their assignments and finish off that play.
And he is going to have a Texans first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
No surprise to see a sideline fired up by that big play. Heck, we're fired up and we're supposed to be neutral. That's a quarterback putting his body on the line to fight and just barely get the first down. When he does something like that, it gets everyone ready to lay it all out there and try and match his intensity.
Mixon with a first down carry. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well. Those are the types of runs they told us they want to see more of. Look, they'd love the 60 to 70-yard runs, but those 10 to 20-yarders, they can help you win a ball game.
And that means everyone's invested because you know the big guys up front, that's what they do. They try and move people. But when you get your perimeter guys involved downfield, that means that they care about the running game and they know it helps their team.
Now Stroud. A short one going to be taken in here by Schultz. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. The catch and run, good for 18 and a first down.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
This one left side caught by Collins.
So 5 yards here, 5 on the play, and that'll make it second down.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule.
Open man is Higgins.
And he'll be out of bounds, able to get it down to the 25 there.
That one good for 7 as this long drive continues and the chains move again.
And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful you're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
The throwing again is Stroud. Over the middle, he gets it to Collins.
And down inside the 15, shy of the 10.
Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another first. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. Here's Stroud. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Schultz.
Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and it's second down.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
Now 2nd and 5. Snap will come from the 6. Stroud to throw it. The throw here right sideline falls incomplete.
Everything about that play tells you about today's NFL offenses and what they're asking out of running backs. You can't just be a guy who can run the football. You have to be able to catch it as well, and he didn't get that done on that play.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass.
Back to throw. Here's Stroud.
And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. A great effort there in the final seconds of the first half.
And the Texans would extend their lead here just before halftime.
That's one of the better examples of clock management I've seen. Whittled it all the way down just about and still put the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, just a methodical drive and something really to take into the lockers here.
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And that makes it a 21-10 game. So just 8 ticks remaining here in the first half as they'll kick this one away. That's going to be taken at the goal line, and he'll return it. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. The Jaguars ready to go on offense for the final time in this first half. And with only 4 seconds on the clock, time likely for just one snap of the football. And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. The Jaguars with work to do. They trail here as we are back underway on EA Sports. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. Out come the Jaguars now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. And right out of the gate, they face what you'd think could be a pretty important drive.
I would say so. You know, they're down 2 scores. That's not the end of the world. It wasn't the strongest of first halves, but for them to start clawing back, they've got to start putting a little pressure on that defense, start cutting into this deficit. You can't have 3 and outs and expect to get that done.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
I think if they want to start getting back into this game, it behooves them to get better on first down.
Yeah, certainly not what they were looking for there out of the opening play of this drive. 2nd down and 8. Another tote for Etienne. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 56 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
And after that type of a run, there's some talking going on down on the field, but it's not trash talking. The guy who just carried the ball, he's going back and telling his offensive line, great job, keep it up, and we'll break that one soon.
On play action, Lawrence. He's going to get that to his running back out of the backfield. And he is going to have a Jags first down, and he'll have it by plenty as they're able to keep the drive alive on 3rd and inches.
Short yardage situation, you have to wonder if they thought that they were just going to run it inside. But you have to be cognizant of the back slipping out of the backfield trying to find some open space. And that's exactly what he does to the tune of a first down.
A give running right, Etienne. And a pretty athletic run right there as he's going to get this down inside the 40. That one good for a gain of 13. And definitely helps as they try to push the ball down the field here, trailing early in the third quarter.
And even though they're trailing, not abandoning the running game. People may call it an adjustment. I think it's just much more sticking to what works for you and continuing to have faith in it. And the running game is starting to pay off.
Down at the 35, it'll be 2nd down.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
Now a 2nd and 6. Etienne up the middle. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he's able to work his way down inside the red zone to the 19-yard line. 16 yards that time on the pickup for the Jags and a first down. Offensive line right now really freeing up the rushing lanes on this drive.
And we have to give them props. They've earned them. But these big runs that we're seeing, they don't result without everyone else being involved as well. Blocking on the perimeter has to take place downfield too.
Got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Jaguars. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Jaguars are back within a score.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that into the broadcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. Here's the Texans offense now, readying for their first possession of the second half. But Charles, they still have the lead despite their defense giving up a touchdown on the previous possession. And even though they have that lead, it feels like a back-and-forth ball game where to try to get momentum back, maybe they need at least 3 here on this drive.
I think you're right about that, Brandon, because your game plan doesn't change. But I do believe your urgency does because of the last score that went against your team. So what you want to do now is have your own drive and try and make sure that that momentum stays in your camp.
Call that a very strong gain of 24.
As they began this drive, I was wondering how they were going to attack since they're playing with the lead. Would they continue to try and push the ball downfield? Well, after one play, it appears that the answer is yes.
Mixing up the middle. And good space to operate there as he takes this down inside the 35-yard line. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
And he'll slide to a halt here, still a little shy of the first down marker. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's second down.
The defense did its job of taking away a quick throw, but that's only half the battle because they've got to get to him before he can make a run for it. A little bit late containing him there, so he makes a nice gain out of a play that looked like it was in trouble.
Throwing again on second down. Stroud. A short one going to be taken in here by Schultz. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
And his throw here's incomplete.
Timing's crucial in any route thrown, but when you throw an out, so many things are going through the mind of the receiver. Catching the ball, timing it up with the quarterback. Are my feet going to get down inbounds? On that play, all those things going through his head might have caused him to drop it.
They go back to the ground now with Mixon. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Joe Mixon with his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Texans are able to extend their lead. That seemed pretty ideal there for the offense, Charles. You take a little bit of time off the clock here in the third quarter, decent length drive, and you pad your lead as well at the end of it.
And what it does is let you feel like you're in control of this game, even more so than a 2-touchdown lead, right? Because you have taken that time off, as you noted, which means they couldn't get you off the field. You ran your playbook the way you wanted to, and you gave your defense some rest. What a big-time drive in that situation.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. Oh, a good return up past the 30. And he's all the way up across the 40 and down at the 42. Great return. Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set here. A strong showing their last time out. They scored the touchdown, but Charles, they look up and they're still down double digits, so you feel like just to keep pace, this drive probably needs to end in the end zone as well.
Yeah, and I think the best move for them is to not worry about how far they are down on the scoreboard, but to just remember the last drive and how it ended. Go ahead and try and repeat that. Then you can look at the scoreboard and see where this game is.
A gain of 3, second down.
Defenses always talk about earning the right to rush the passer on third down, and you know what offenses want? Win first down so they can set things up for themselves better.
And that wasn't helpful there. Not a big impact on first down.
On second down, ETN once more.
And he'll get it down to the 47 here.
99 yards now for ETN, and he's got a first down.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
ETN once more.
And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. That one a pickup of 15 for Jacksonville.
Man, these guys may not win this ball game, but you certainly can't fault the effort of this man here today. He's been a real thorn in their sides all afternoon. And that last carry puts him over the 100-yard mark.
They go play action with Lawrence. This ball caught by Strange.
And he will reach the 5-yard line before going out of bounds. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
Well, this is a defense that's definitely on their heels now because they gave up the running play for good yardage one play ago. Now the pass here sets this offense up first and goal. They're going to have to dig in strong now because they've been in retreat so far on this drive. This offense up.
And he'll take this one in for a Jags touchdown.
Travis Etienne.
A 5-yard touchdown run.
And the Jaguars have got it back to within a score.
A strong, determined run there, Charles, to get in for 6 points.
This is why it's such a team game, isn't it? And I know it sounds really generic and it sounds almost trite, but the blocks were made up front, offensive line, collective victory at the line of scrimmage and downfield. And how about the finish to the run all the way into the end zone?
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. Houston's offense taking over again. Still enjoying the lead here in the third quarter despite their defense giving up that last touchdown. Now they'll see if they can get the equalizer here on this drive. Stroud working out of the gun. Out of his hands quickly to Higgins.
Even against double coverage, he found enough of an opening for a noticeable gain. 2 guys on him, yet he finds a way to uncover downfield for the completion.
So not quite a first down just yet as they come up on second and less than a yard.
Inside handoff to Mixon. And this will be a Texans first down as the tackle made it about the 43-yard line.
Second and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on third down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
This is caught. It's Kirk. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Oh, I like that play call there. After a run for good yardage, you get a defense thinking they'll go back to the well. So that's a great time to call play action and give your receivers a little extra edge. And they complete the pass there for another first down.
This one caught downfield by Higgins. And they move this all the way down to the 9. That's good for 28 yards.
Boy, how about the speed with which this offense can get down the field? It's taking them no time at all to get down here. And now they're set up with a 1st and goal.
2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit them, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. They'll give it to Mixon. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Foye Oluokun finding his way to the ball for a stop. A tackle for loss.
I'll tell you what, this defense hasn't played its best, but they're still right in this football game. And if they keep making plays just like that, they're going to give their offense a chance.
So 1st down went in the wrong direction. They're at the 13-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Another try for Mixon. And this one also slow in developing as he's maybe getting back here to the line of scrimmage, but not much more than that. No gain on the play there, and they're going to need to come up with something better here on 3rd and goal. Interested to see what they dial up here. 3rd and goal with a lot of green between them and the end zone. Operating from the gun, Stroud. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. Decent gain on the scramble to 6, but now it's 4th.
Oh, partner, just a second earlier, and they might have had him because they certainly thought they were going to close in and drop him behind the line of scrimmage, but he had just enough time to dodge the pressure, and he ends up getting yardage before being stopped.
The kick by Fairbairn is good, and that'll push the lead up to 8. So a nice kick there as they are able to add on to their lead.
And that's exactly what you're looking to do. Maneuver yourself into range. That way, if your drive stalls out, you're able to get something out of it. And they do so right there.
Fairbairn now following the made field goal. He'll send this one away. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. And that last touchdown drive they had, very balanced. How key is that balance?
It's huge because most of the time when we talk about balance is run, pass, almost 50-50. But most of the times when you talk to offensive coaches, they say balance is we do what we want when we want to. And that means that they're ahead of the defense, keeping them on their heels.
Yeah, they imposed their will on that last drive. 129 yards rushing for him now as his sensational afternoon continues.
Now that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
Heavy set out there on 3rd and 1. They'll run with ETN. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. So both offenses come to life here in this 3rd quarter as this is shaping up for a good finish. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Jacksonville. It's Jaguar football, but a little work to do for them. They trail here as we start the 4th. On 1st down, right back to ETN. And after the good gain last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
Now Lawrence. Over the middle, open is Thomas. So the completion good for 6 yards. 3rd and 7 now.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
This offense so far on third down, they've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 7.
He'll get this out to the flat for Etienne.
And he's out of bounds as he gets this down to the 45. He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down. He got out of bounds. That's a good thing, but still short of the first.
And now, since this brings up 4th down, the defensive play caller, grab your nerves because now you don't want to be so amped up that you give them a 1st down by getting out of your lanes, but you also don't want to just lay back and let them have it easily.
And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. And now out comes Houston. They have the lead, obviously, late in the game. I guess the good news for them is if for some reason they would make a mistake, a field goal does the opposition no good.
Everyone loves to have a little bit of a cushion, and that helps you immeasurably. But the bottom line is do all the things that you're taught in order to close out the game. Don't even let that become an issue.
Yeah, but still a one-possession game. This one not fully over yet.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a 1st down.
Play action. Here's Stroud. Got a man. It's Collins complete.
And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8.
Ball on the 40 now. Here's 2nd and 2. Again, it's Stroud.
A short one going to be taken in here by Schultz. 7 catches for him now, and this last one, a 1st down.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to, pick up a 1st down.
So after 2 first downs, they get another here. 1st and 10 at the 45.
Stroud looking to throw. He's across midfield.
And down right around the 37. Give them 17 on the pickup there, and the Texans also get a new set of downs.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomp down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. So in Jacksonville territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. To Mixon on the check down. And he is going to lose yardage here. The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long.
That play was well covered. Just tried to check it down. Unfortunately, we're not able to find any yardage on that one.
This drive's taken more than 3 minutes off the clock already as they come up on 2nd down.
A shotgun snap to Stroud.
Now look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by Jordan Lewis.
And the Jags are right back in this football game.
They'll start by running the option to the right. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
That's what he can do, when he keeps the football. It's not a huge gain, but it shows how hard it can be to stop him.
Yeah, and I thought the defense had that one pretty well contained, and in fact, they probably came up and felt pretty good about what they did. Then they looked up and realized he still got good yardage out of it. He's a tough guy to stop.
Straight ahead, Etienne.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. They go backwards there 2 yards, and 2nd and 1 is now 3rd and 3.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage.
Here's Lawrence to throw.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and the Texans scoop it. And they're going to get the football just outside the 10 at the 11-yard line. Following the fumble recovery, Stroud. That's complete right around the 8. The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
Throwing now is Stroud.
He's got it. It'll be a gain of 5, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 2. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he was unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
2 yards still to go. 3rd down now. Stroud.
And he's in. Touchdown, Houston.
C.J. Stroud.
A 3-yard touchdown run.
And the Texans have opened up a 2-touchdown lead here in this 4th quarter. We talk so often about how hard it is to win in the NFL when you turn the ball over, and here a late turnover leads to a 4th quarter touchdown and a 2-score lead.
And what's more important is being able to take advantage when a turnover presents itself. You've got to come up with points to make the other guy pay. They're able to do so here, and they've got a pretty good chance now of winning this football game.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away.
And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26.
Out comes the Jaguar offense now as they get set to take over.
Right now, they're in a bit of a tough spot here, CD. You trail them by double digits. Remember the last time out, they fumbled. They're going to have to play some clean football here on this possession.
And all the talk on their sideline has been about taking care of the football, making sure that they're handling the ball correctly. So you know they'll be squeezing the rock pretty tight here. They just have to be careful not to go so hard in doing that they actually cause themselves other problems. Take care of the ball, but still try and play free and natural. If you're a coach, you'll absolutely take that run every time on 1st down because it really sets you up to go in a number of directions here on 2nd.
From the 31, here's a 2nd and 5. Looking to throw, Lawrence. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
The coverage was good, but I just wonder if they absolutely fooled the quarterback on that play. I think he was expecting something else. Ended up with nowhere to throw the football successfully.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass.
Lawrence. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw him break out on 3rd down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
Here we go. Got to have it. Lawrence.
That is caught and able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together?
Got his man. It's the tight end Strange with it.
And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
Good yardage on the completion there, and when they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
He completes it to Hunter. And he'll be marked down at the 26 with a gain of 7. Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on 2nd down. Now whistles here, and I believe one of the Jaguar linemen might have moved. They were looking good on 2nd down, but now they're backed up 5 yards by the false start, and it's 2nd and 8. And to throw again is Lawrence. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
The coverage keyed in on him since that last completion his way. He earned a little more attention on that route, and that made it a lot tougher to get a clean throw his way.
They got to get to the 23 here on 3rd. Now Lawrence. He's going to air this thing out deep for Thomas. And this is going to be intercepted. Derek Stingley picks it. And the Texans are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. They'll try to eat some clock with Mixon. And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6. That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit. Stroud out of the gun here. This one left side caught by Collins. Call it a gain of 12, but of course not a first down due to the previous penalty. Well, normally you might say start running the football. You've got the lead here in the 4th quarter, but the way that they've passed it with such success, I don't know, maybe keep throwing it.
Yeah, I think you brought up something that goes against conventional wisdom, right? In this stage of the game, you would think you would switch to a running attack, but you're exactly right. They've thrown it so well throughout the game, and trusting this quarterback, I think you continue to do so.
And this will be a Texans first down as he gets this up past the 30 to the 32. You can really tell right now both sides have amped up the aggressiveness. That time the offense winning the aggression battle.
And the defense was obviously aiming for the football, maybe a little bit more so than the runner himself, and that's why he was able to break through and get the gain that he did.
Back to Mixon on first down. And a decent gain there as that takes us to the 2-minute warning. 108 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot. An option handoff here to Mixon. And strong running there as he's across midfield and down to the 49. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. Five points of contact necessary at this stage as they'll run on first down. Now the Jags will use the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this 4th quarter of play. Second and 6. It's Mixon on the counter, and he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. And they'll need the 39 here for a first. This is 3rd down. Again, it's Mixon. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And this punt sails over the sideline, and the spot, it looks to be right at the 25-yard line. So here now, Lawrence and the Jaguars down by 15. 1:08 to go. They need 2 touchdowns and at least 1 2-point conversion mixed in there as well. Try to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
A lot of practice time, a lot of thinking goes into 2-minute drills, even on the defensive side. So now you want to make sure the guys understand. Continue to be aggressive, but make sure you're smart in doing so.
But just over a minute to go in the football game. 2nd and 10. Lawrence will throw. And this is incomplete.
Back-to-back incompletions, but we know this is definitely 4-down territory. Time not on their side. I don't think they want to try and get the first down in 2 installments. I think they got to go and get it right here, right now.
And now a tough spot here. This is 3rd and 10. From the gun, it's Lawrence. Pass complete, Thomas. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Here's 1st down. Throwing again here. It's Lawrence. And that is incomplete here.
Limited time left on the clock after that incompletion, so I think both sides are going to savor every second to prepare before the next snap. Because once the ball's in motion, it may be a nonstop push to finish this drive off. Everyone better be on the same page right now because I think they're going to try and get several plays off in quick succession if they can.
Thomas brings it in. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30.
That's really good play design right there, and it's one that comes down to the offensive line. It's a deep in route, but it's only going to work if that line gives you time in the pocket to wait for the route to develop. Mission accomplished there as they pick up the 1st down.
A final shot now for Lawrence. And that is incomplete. 2 seconds left on the clock.
With no timeouts left, that's a dangerous proposition work in the middle of the field. Fortunately for them, that one fell incomplete.
One final shot. They'll look to throw. Looking for the end zone. And that will be incomplete. They were going for a consolation TD, but it was not to be. And time has run out now on this game. A higher scoring game, Charles, than we typically see in the National Football League, but fun to watch these offenses. They were really clicking. It seemed like everything that they dialed up worked.
Yeah, it certainly was fun to watch from our perspective. How'd you like to be those defensive coaches, though? That wasn't a blast for them at all. And let's face it, they all game plan, they all scout, they all think they're prepared. But executing and stopping teams, that's another matter entirely.
So that'll do it. For my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry, I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we sign off from Jacksonville.